Hi there guys! Welcome back to my channel. This is my first sit down video on my new camera. My old one broke when I was in Tokyo, so if you watch those vlogs you will have seen that. I'm currently filming this during coronavirus lockdown. Hey! So I should have been to Disneyland in April and I also should have gone to Disneyland Paris in May. Both those trips didn't happen. It's currently end of May. We have got a trip to Walt Disney World and a Disney cruise planned in September, so I don't really know. I'm pretty sure it's not going to happen, but I'm, fingers crossed. We've got our flights, everything's booked. So if it can happen, we will go. If it can't happen, we have got some alternative dates in mind, so fingers crossed. Anyway, completely gone off topic. Today's video is me ranking all of the Disney parks around the world, which you'll see from the title of the video. So I've kind of ranked each park. I'm going to try and pop my phone up here. Let's see if it doesn't fall and knock everything down. Okay, so I've ranked each park based on food options, atmosphere, theming and rides and shows. So I've given each of those categories a mark out of 10. And then I have ranked my top, well, all 12 Disney parks around the world. There are some that don't quite fall into where they fall into based on scores. That might be because of certain memories I have in those parks, or it might just be because I just prefer the parks that go ahead of them. So I'll talk about those when we get to them. And I will kind of give a little bit of background at each park and why I've ranked it where I've ranked it. Obviously this is based on my personal experience at the park, which other people might have a completely different experience than me, and it's also based on like my personal opinion and what I rate higher in my own head, I guess. So even though I've got like food, atmosphere, theming, rides and shows as the rankings, I probably weight more towards theming and atmosphere and food. Rides and shows are obviously a big part of it, but I think I would lean more towards those three as like things that I look for when I'm traveling, especially when you're spending a lot of time in these parks. So if it was a one-day park it might be a different thing, but if it's a park that you're literally going on holiday to go to that park, you want good food options and you want good atmosphere in that park. So that's kind of how I've done it. Anyway, this introduction's been way too long, so I'm gonna start. So at number 12 in last place is probably not a shock to anybody who's been to this park. It is Walt Disney Studios Park. So I've ranked that with a total score of 12 out of 40. So you can see it's not great. So for food I've given it a 3. For atmosphere I've given it a 2. Theming a 3, and then rides and shows a 4. In terms of food, yeah, I've only had one good meal and it was at Bistro Chez Remy. And that was when we went in December 2019, and it wasn't like the best meal, it was just okay. But the only other food experience that I've had in this park is in the quick service at the entrance, and it was bad. I generally just don't like Disneyland Paris's food. I think the quick service options are awful. The snack options are also really bad, and it's so expensive. Like compared to even like Florida and Disneyland, it's really expensive food, and for what you get I just think it's really bad. So yeah, I really don't like the food at Disneyland Paris. I probably like the best meals that I've had were on the last trip that we went on, which was Bistro Chez Remy, which was pretty good, and also the steakhouse that's in the Disney Village area. That was really nice when we went last time. But I've eaten at quite a few places, which I will get to when I talk about Disneyland Paris. Basically every time I've just been let down, or I've just thought like if I was having this, if this was a restaurant at Walt Disney World it would be so much better. So yeah, I think the fact that I went to Disney World and Disneyland first maybe put a bit of a down on Disneyland Paris for me, but I just don't love it. Atmosphere, I just don't get this park. I've watched the Imagineering story and you can kind of tell from that it was a rush park, and it's not had the complete overhaul that Disney California Adventure got, so I think it needs that. The entrance is just bad. Like you walk in and there's just a building in front of you and you're like, what the heck is this? And you have to walk through the building, and the building is just like a quick service and a shop. There's no like theming in there. It would be better if it was just some kind of like covered open street, like a bit like in Tokyo. That would be better. But the way it's set up, I don't like. I kind of get what they were going for, which is like you're walking into a movie set and then everything beyond that is like a movie set. So I can kind of get from that point of view what it was aiming for, but I just don't like it. Theming, again, I've given that a 3, generally because of that same thing. I've given it a little bit higher than atmosphere because the new Remy like French area at the back of the park is really well themed. That is a really nice area, and I'd probably give that on its own like a 7 or 8 out of 10. But the rest of the park I just don't like it, so I've given it a 3. Rides and shows, I've given it a 4. Like, it doesn't really have much in the park. It's such a small park, especially like Rock and Roller Coaster's closed and it's getting transformed into like this marble area. There is like 4 or 5 rides, I think. There's Remy, there's Ratatouille, sorry, there's Crush's Coaster, there's Tower of Terror, and then there's the movie tram tour, which is like a half tour compared to what it used to be. And then there's like the two or 3 rides in the Toy Story bit, which are like those little Toy Story rides, like the RC Racer, and there's the droppy one. Oh, there's that little Cars ride as well. Okay, so there's like 8 rides in the park. And then there's like a show. The show is really good. It's Mickey and the Magical Book or something like that. I can't think what it's called. It's like Mickey and the Mystical Book, or I don't know. Anyway, that show is pretty good. It's half in French and half in English, but I'm fine with that. I can kind of follow the general theme, and they sing the songs, so you kind of know what's going on. So I do like that show. I love Tower, which I think is why I've given it like a 4 for rides and shows as well. Crush's Coaster is like an okay coaster. It's nothing amazing. And then Ratatouille's a nice dark ride. I do enjoy it a lot, and I am excited for it to come to Epcot. But everything else is just a bit like So yeah, 4. So that's the worst park in my opinion, and I think in most people's opinion as well. It is getting, or hopefully it is getting, a lot of work done over the next few years. Obviously who knows what's going to happen post-corona, but hopefully everything that they've planned still goes ahead, because it's meant to get a new lake at the back, so they could put like a nighttime spectacular in there, which it's currently not got. It hasn't got anything happening in the evening. It has no parades, it has no like entertainment show thing. It's just got that Mickey show at the moment. But yeah, I just think it's kind of a waste of space park at the moment, and it's just a bit of a I don't want to say shitstorm, but shitstorm. So it just needs a lot of work doing. So then we jump up quite a lot in terms of score, so then we go from 12 out of 40 to 23 out of 40, and this is Hollywood Studios. So this is based on the last time I visited Hollywood Studios, which was 2017. So bear in mind at this point, Toy Story Land wasn't open, Star Wars wasn't open, Great Movie Ride was shut. There wasn't much in the park, basically. So I've given it a 5 for food, a 5 for atmosphere, a 6 for theming, and a 7 for rides and shows. So for food, I do think there's quite a lot of good options in the park, but none of them are great from my experience, which is why I've given it a 5. So they've got, I'm trying to think what they've got. They've got I can't speak. They've got Mama Melrose, which is an Italian restaurant, very similar to Tony's Town Square in terms of food quality, I would say. I.e. not great, but I think better than Tony's Town Square in terms of food quality. And they've also got Hollywood Brown Derby, where I haven't eaten, so I can't judge that. I've been to the buffet and it wasn't very good, and when I went also it didn't have the characters, so it was just a pretty bad buffet. I've not been to Sci-Fi Dining, that is one that I would like to go to, but I have been to Primetime Cafe, really enjoyed that. The food was pretty nice, and I just like the general theme of it, like the 60s, 70s vibe, and like the food's all like proper, like I guess like American home style food, like fried chicken, cornbread, there's like a hot pot, whatever it's called, hot pot, is that what they call it? I don't know. And like the beef brisket basically. So I did really like that when we went. And they've also got quite a few quick service options. None of them great. They're all pretty standard quick services when I last went. I know they now do have Andy's Toy Box, is it? And the Star Wars quick service, but they weren't there when I was there. So you basically had like ABC Commissionery, Backlot Express, is it called? Or Backlot something? And then You had the quick services that are kind of down Sunset Boulevard, just those like quick service ones down there, so you can get like chicken nuggets and all those kind of things. Like nothing particularly unique in terms of quick service when I was last there. So 5 for food. Atmosphere 5, but mainly I think because half the park was shut. But you do have like the Streetmosphere, which I really like. You've got the Citizens of Hollywood, which is a really nice touch, and that is something that Disneyland Paris is just missing in general. Like they just don't really have anything like that. They don't have the Streetmosphere, and that is something I definitely miss. But Hollywood Studios do have that, and I think I would give it a higher score going back now that there's a lot more of the park open, and obviously you've got the stuff kind of going on in Star Wars Land, and you've still got that Citizens of Hollywood section, so I think I would give it higher now, but like I say, I can only do it based on what I've experienced. Theming a 6, because I think they do a much better job at the like old-timey Hollywood vibe than Walt Disney Studios Park does. I appreciate the theming more. I like going onto like a street atmosphere when you get into the park. I do like that main street area with the shops, and then going off towards Sunset Boulevard, towards Tower of Terror. I think that looks really good. I don't quite get, I mean I do get Rock and Roller Coaster. It's kind of like you are going to a concert, I guess, on Sunset Boulevard, and I like the Tower of Terror Hotel. I think after, and then obviously like Great Movie Ride where that was, and where Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Mine Train now is. You've got like Chinese theatre, which is very Hollywood as well. So I think in terms of theming they did that really well. I like that anyway. I know some people don't, but I do. And then kind of beyond that you had the little Star Wars area before, which again, like even though it was really small, I liked that you had the ATs or AT-ATs, whatever you want to call them, and you had like the little like forests, like you were in, I don't remember where you were supposed to be, but like you had that like little setting, and you had like the TIE fighters and stuff, so I liked that. And then you've kind of got like the area around him, Muppet Vision, which was a bit like Italian, New Yorky themed, and I really liked the Streets of America when they were there. I thought they were well themed with the backlot tour, so I think it used to work quite well as a park. Now obviously it's going to be split into more like IP sections, I guess, and then you've got that front bit kind of leaning more towards what California Adventure's doing, but I do like the theming of it a lot more than some other parks. And then lastly, rides and shows, I gave a 7. I think mainly because even though there wasn't much there when I was there, you had Toy Story Mania, which I love, it's one of my favourites, Tower of Terror, which is basically my favourite ride, and you got Fantasmic. I love Fantasmic, I think it's a great show. I love the amphitheatre setting where everyone kind of sit down, everyone gets a good view. I just think it's a great show. And they also added the like fireworks as well in that park when I was there. Like when we last went, it was Christmas as well, so you had all the Christmas decorations up. But even when it's not Christmas, you've got some kind of fireworks going on in that park now most of the time. So yeah, I think for rides and shows, I gave it a 7 because of those main elements. And then you've got like the Indiana Jones Stunt Spectacular, which I enjoy. I think it's alright. I like Star Tours as well, so that's a good ride. Rock and Roller Coaster, it's a decent ride as well. So I think even though there wasn't much going on, you did have some good rides in that park still when I last went. Okay, number 10, probably a little bit controversial maybe. Disneyland Paris is what I'm putting at number 10. And that I gave a 26 out of 40 with a 3 for food, a 6 for atmosphere, 9 for theming, and 8 for rides and shows. As I mentioned in the Walt Disney Studios Park bit, I just think the food at Disneyland Paris is really lacking. The quick service options are just bad. Half the time most of them aren't open, and the options are just very generic theme park food. Like there's nothing great there. Snacks, they just don't really have any, which I just don't get, because like people want snacks. I mean, maybe not so much, maybe it's a cultural thing, but every other Disney theme park in the world has like a good selection of snacks, and this one just doesn't. So I think they really need to step up that game. And then even like the quality of the table service restaurants, I've eaten at 2 in Disneyland Paris now in the actual park. We've eaten at Walt's and we've eaten at Captain Jack's. Walt's was like alright. I liked the fact that it was on Main Street and you could look out and see Main Street below you, so the atmosphere of that restaurant was good. But the food wasn't great from what I remember. The dessert, I remember just being like it felt like a store-bought pastry. It was just not great. and the main, like the steak was nice that I had, but it came with like this weird like cold potato salad thing, which I just didn't appreciate. And then Captain Jack's, I liked Captain Jack's, I thought it was good, but my mum and my auntie who I was with, they didn't enjoy their meals there. So I just think everything just kind of needs uplifting, and considering you're in France and in Paris, I'd expect to have good food, and it's just not good food. So that's my biggest gripe with Disneyland Paris. Atmosphere as well, I give a 6. I've just never, I don't know, I just don't find Disneyland Paris that magical, and maybe it's just me, but I think I've always found like cast members to be a little bit rude. It might be a cultural thing, and I've also found guests to be rude, and also like just the smoking situation. Like I don't appreciate people just smoking all over the park. Like I feel like that should be a rule that is enforced. I get that it's France, but still smoking is smoking, like just stop it. So that just kind of just puts a big downer for me on Disneyland Paris. Theming, I gave a 9. Like the theming of that park is amazing. Like there's a reason that nearly bankrupted like the company. It was great. They put so much into it. I think the Adventureland area is amazing. The castle is gorgeous. I really like the different version of Tomorrowland in Discoveryland and the Jules Verne like old style future. I really like that. Fantasyland is kind of like a new Fantasyland vibe. It's not like that old style that you get in Walt Disney World and in Disneyland. It is more like the new Fantasyland area in Walt Disney World, more like rustic fantasy, which I really like. And I just think the theming of the park is great. Rides and shows, I think it's also lacking. I've given it an 8, but I think maybe I should have given it a 7. It's such a big, it feels like such a big park, and it has so much space, but it just doesn't have the attractions there. You've got some of the best versions though of like some attractions, so that's probably why I gave it an 8. Space Mountain, that's my favourite Space Mountain, hands down. Phantom Manor's great. Big Thunder Mountain's the best Big Thunder Mountain. And I would also say Pirates is probably the best like traditional Pirates that there is. So there is a lot to like about the rides, but I just think it could have so much more. Like it doesn't have a splash, and I think it's really lacking because it doesn't have a splash. Like I really like splash. And yes, I get that it's cold, so maybe it's not the best park to have splash, but I would still probably ride it. Or just something more in Adventureland. Like there's just so much space. Like there's no Jungle Cruise. Or I'm trying to think like what actually is there in Adventureland? Because you've got like the Frontierland, which is where Phantom Manor and Big Thunder are, and then in Adventureland you've got Pirates, but I feel like that's kind of it. Oh, you've got Indiana Jones as well, like the roller coaster, which is just kind of like it kind of just feels like an out of the box roller coaster to put theming on top of, like, whereas like the other ones, even though they are that, feel like Disney coasters, this one just feels like an out of the box. Like I think if you're into roller coasters, you'll know that that's just not a great coaster. I guess for a Disney park it is something different. It's got a loop in it. It's a bit more of like an extreme version, but then also you've got Space Mountain there, which goes upside down. You've got Rock and Roller Coaster, and you've got a really good Big Thunder. So I just think it's just kind of like a random thing to have, and I'd rather have had a proper themed Indiana Jones roller coaster than what is there. It just I just don't like it, but that's me. And then in terms of shows, they've got the parade, which is currently Stars on Parade, I think, is it? I can't think what it's called, and it's fine. It's got the Maleficent float from Festival of Fantasy in it, and it's fine. It's not like the most innovative parade, but it's fine, and it's worth a watch, definitely. I am going to do a ranking of parades, I think, at some point, so you'll kind of see where I put it in my list of parades. But there's that one, and then you've got your Nighttime Spectacular, which is Disney Illuminations. It's the same Nighttime Spectacular that they have at Shanghai. I'm not sure which park got it first. I can't remember when Disneyland Paris got it, because Shanghai's had it since opening, but I don't remember when Paris got it, because it used to have Disney Dreams. And I only ever saw the Christmas version of Disney Dreams, but without fireworks. But apparently Disney Dreams was a lot better than Illuminations. And Illuminations is just kind of like it just feels like a cobbled together IP celebration. Like there doesn't seem to be any kind of story behind it, which I think is why I don't maybe connect with it so much. Yeah, so Disneyland Paris at number 10. Number 9, I've got Hong Kong Disneyland. This is kind of an odd one. I've given it 29, so it's just a bit higher than Disneyland Paris in terms of overall ranking. And then some things it scored a lot less on, and some things it scored a lot more on, which is kind of why it is where it is. So food, I gave it an 8. I think the downside of it is I don't really think there's a table service in that park. I think there might be like 1. So that is definitely a downside, and maybe I shouldn't have given it an 8 because of that, because I gave another park an 8, which I think has more. Anyway, I'll give it an 8. There's a lot of good snacks, there's a lot of good quick services. It's kind of similar to Disneyland Paris in the sense that they don't open all of the quick services, and there's like 2 or 3 open in one day, but the choice in those was really good. I thought you had a lot of different like styles of food, and maybe that's because of where it is, it's being Hong Kong. So you've got kind of like some Western options, but you've also got some really good like Eastern options. We went to Explorers Club, I think it's called Explorers Club, and the food there was really nice. Like there was like an Indian bit, a Japanese bit, like different like areas basically that you could order from, and I just thought it was really good. Like I had a curry and I really enjoyed it. And we also went to the Royal Banquet Hall, I think it was called, or something along those lines, and they had like really good dim sum there. So there's a lot of like different choice and a lot of good options. Snack wise, I had quite a lot of good snacks there. And they had like some really nice like Toy Story themed snacks. They had good like ice cream options. They had like a nice little bakery on Main Street which had a load of good like different things, like the melon bread, pineapple bread, and like different like donuts. Like they had that Winnie the Pooh donut that was really cute. Loads of good options, I thought. Atmosphere, I gave a 5, mainly because it's so quiet. So we went in September 2019, we went on weekdays, and then we ended up going back at the end and went on a Saturday. So it was a bit busy on a Saturday, but still it was, compared to other Disney parks, it was dead. And I think that just kind of like took away from the atmosphere of the park, the fact that it was so quiet. I'm not sure if it's because of the like riots that were going on in Hong Kong at the time that the park was so quiet, or if it's always like that. They are getting a new castle at the moment. Obviously the castle's under construction. They're also getting a Frozen Land, so hopefully when that all opens up it might drive more people to go to the park, because it is a really nice park and they've got some really good unique attractions. For theming, I gave it an 8, mainly because of the new areas in the park. So you've got your traditional like Main Street, and it's basically a clone of Disneyland's Main Street, which I love. I love that style. When we went, the castle was under construction, as I said, but it used to have Disneyland's castle, and now it's getting its own unique castle, which I think will be great. Tomorrowland is just it's kind of like a mash in Tomorrowland. So you've got like a Marvel section at the back basically now, and then you've got like a more old school Tomorrowland at the front, which is a bit weird, but I do like the Marvel stuff. I think it's been done really well, and I like the old style of Tomorrowland that they've got there. They've got Mystic Point, they've got Grizzly Gulch, and those two areas are just so well themed. Like it's amazing. Like compared to the rest of the park, it feels like a different park. And then for Fantasyland, you've got like the old style of Fantasyland like you do at Disneyland or Walt Disney World. So I think that's why I gave it an 8. Maybe thinking about it, maybe I should have given it a 7, but those new areas are so good, like I gave it an 8. And then for rides and shows, I also gave it an 8. They had some really good shows at that park. So we went when it was Halloween, which did mean that they didn't have Paint the Night on, which I was really sad about. But I have kind of included like Paint the Night in my score because I've seen Paint the Night before, and it is an amazing parade. Like it's just great. It's one of my favourites. I think it is my favourite parade. It's honestly amazing. So I think that's probably weighted me towards an 8, but they also had loads of like good shows on. So we saw, instead of Festival of the Lion King, but they normally have Festival of the Lion King, which is a great show, which in itself is a great show. They have this show called Let's Get Wicked, and it is a Halloween version basically of Festival of the Lion King, but like no Lion King in it, but it's themed around the villains. And I loved it. Like we went back for one day at the end and I went and saw it again because I just thought it was amazing. The singing was really good, the performers were amazing. They also had like their own version of like Mickey and the Magical Map. I think it was Mickey and the Wondrous Book, maybe. And I really enjoyed that. It had the Happily Ever After song in it. That's where it originally came from that show. The singing in that wasn't as good, but with good singers it would have been an amazing show. And then for the daytime parade they've got Flights of Fantasy, and that has the same soundtrack as Soundsational did at Disneyland, and I really love Soundsational, so I was just like bopping along singing Festival of Fantasy, not Festival of Fantasy, singing Flights of Fantasy. They're all called so very similar things. Singing Flights of Fantasy but also singing Soundsational because I had Soundsational in my head. Why not? Yeah, it was an okay parade. It wasn't anything amazing, the daytime parade, but the fact that they have Paint the Night as well, like I love Paint the Night. They had like a Halloween show on in the evening when we were there, and I didn't love that. They also had, because they don't have a castle, they had like a projection show on Main Street as like the nighttime spectacular, and that was called We Love Mickey, and it was just like a little projection show basically with just loads of different projections down Main Street of Mickey Mouse, and it was cute. And at the end, like Mickey Mouse comes out at on the end of Main Street and everyone like runs towards him. We just kind of stayed where we were sat, but it was good, it was cute. And worth a watch once on you if you're there for more than one day. I would only see it once, but it was worth one watch. Yeah, I think that's it for Hong Kong Disneyland. So for number 8, this is kind of where it starts to get really close in terms of scores, and I was struggling. And I think I might have been a little bit harsh on this one as well, but 8 is Shanghai. So I gave it a total of 34 out of 40, so you can see that we're getting to like high scores now, and everything above this is very high scores, so it was a struggle. So yeah, this one's got 34 out of 40. I gave it a 6 for food, mainly because I didn't think they had that great options. Like there were just some odd choices, and again that probably might be a cultural thing, but even like the Western choices were a bit rogue sometimes, but they did have some good ones. Like I didn't eat at the Tomorrowland food area, which is like your generic like burgers and stuff. I think Gio ate there and he said it was okay. They had like a Tangled quick service, which was really cute, and they did like Asian food there, and it was alright. It was like I had like noodles, like a stir fry, and it was actually really nice, but the dessert I had was really bad. So they're not that great on desserts, but the main was fine. And they don't have any table service in the park apart from one, which is the one that's in the castle. So that is the only table service in the park. They do have quite a few quick service options, and they have a lot of snack options, but we found quite a few of them were closed when we were there. I don't know if it was the time of year that we were there or if they generally just don't have everything open. Food places closed early as well. So like one night we were trying to find food and there wasn't really anything like was left open. We had to like go to this like one restaurant which was over by, where was it? It was like just off Main Street, and it just didn't have anything that we liked the look of at all. So we ended up just getting like waffles for dinner. So yeah, I think like the food options were a bit like, and I think also the fact that we'd kind of been in Shanghai and Hong Kong for a week at that point, and we'd kind of eaten a lot of that style of food. We were just wanting something a bit different and we were struggling to find it. So I don't know if that put a bit of a dampener on it. Snacks wise, they had a few decent snacks in the park. They had like this massive Mickey donut, which I'm going to try and put a picture of in if I've not put this over the top of it anyway. And yeah, they had this like massive Mickey donut, which was really nice. And they had like a version of the Mike Wazowski bread, but it wasn't the melon bread. It's like a cranberry version, but it was nice. It was like a good like breakfast item. They had the like white chocolate mini bar, which is like a Mickey bar but the mini one, and it had strawberry ice cream in the middle. That was really nice, really enjoyed that. They had some different flavours of popcorn as well, which I wasn't expecting, because I think when I think of like Disney and popcorn, like different flavours of popcorn, I think of Tokyo, but they did have quite a few different flavours in Shanghai, and because we weren't there for very long I didn't really try any of them, but they had like steak popcorn and cherry popcorn and quite a few different flavours. So I think if I go back I will definitely try the different popcorns that they've got there, because they did have quite a few. Atmosphere I gave an 8. I think mainly an 8 because there was just some weird stuff that went on in that park. People just like like climb on everything to get like a good view. But that's more like just general people's behaviour, but that kind of brought the atmosphere down for me. And then also like for the fireworks, people were just like standing on top of anything they could, like small bars people were standing on top of. Like by the end of it we were just like joining in. We sat on some bins to watch the fireworks, which is something I would never do at a Disney park, but because everybody was doing it at that one, it was like, well, we can sit on these bins and get a pretty good view. So that's what we did. We had like no one behind us, so we were literally like so far back. Like we were at the edge of the hub, and the hub in Shanghai is huge. Like it is the biggest hub ever. And we were sat like near the waffle shop, so if you've been, like, you would know how far back that is. Like it's at the point where they don't even bother dimming the lights because they're like, nobody's gonna be here watching the fireworks. Yeah, we were. So what else have we got? Theming. I gave theming a 10. Like this is such a well themed park. Tomorrowland is, they've gone down the futuristic route, which might come back to bite them in the arse eventually, but at the moment it looks amazing. Just the way that Tron looks as well, it's just like you walk in, you're like, wow, like where am I? Their Toy Story Land is really cute. They've got a really nice version of kind of like Mater's or the Alien Swirling Saucers, but it's Bullseye, and I just thought that was dead cute. They've got an Al's Toy Barn, so I really like the theming of their Toy Story Land. They also had such, like, their whole Fantasyland is huge, and also it's all like New Fantasyland themed, which I love, and it just feels massive. Like they have this like amazing Alice in Wonderland maze. It's such a beautiful park. And then I think like the overall best part is their version of Adventureland. It's kind of split into two different sections. You've got Adventure Isle and you've also got like Treasure Cove. But you kind of like feel like it's all like one almost like cohesive land, even though it's not. But they've got this like beautiful like lake in the middle of it. You've got like pirate ships, and then you get to like Adventure Isle and you've got like an obstacle course. Like it's amazing. It's just something you don't see in any other park. They've got the rapids, they've got soaring, they've got the canoes. Like it's so well themed. I really enjoy that land. And then for rides and shows, I've given it a 9. Every ride that's in that park is just like one step above like any other counterpart of it. It is missing some like essentials, I guess. Like for me, it's missing like It's a Small World, which I know people might find really annoying and not want to ride, but I love It's a Small World. I think it's just a nice little relaxing thing. I also love like a people mover, so I would have really liked them to have some kind of like futuristic people mover, but they don't. But they've got Tron, which is just so fun. Their version of Buzz Lightyear is amazing. It's like Hong Kong's version of Ant-Man. Like the system on that is just so good. You've also got like the jetpacks instead of Astro Orbiter, which I didn't actually go on, but they looked really cool. You've got some like generic things, like you've got your RC Racer, general back and forth. You've got Pirates, which I thought was amazing. Like I was so hyped for that ride and it just didn't let me down at all. It's so different to any other Pirates that I don't think it's right to compare them. You've got all of your like old school Pirates rides, and they're kind of like, that's their level. Like they are the old school Pirates rides. They're what Pirates of the Caribbean is based on. And then you've got Shanghai's version, which is more like, it's an IP based ride. It's based on the films, so it's like a completely different ball game. I think you have to kind of view them separately, but they have some amazing animatronics. Yes, they use screens a lot, but I think they use them really well, and they've still got enough physical set in there, I think, that it kind of flows well. I enjoyed it. And that's my favourite version of Pirates, because I just really loved it. And they've got Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, which is a great ride. They've got Soarin', they've got Rapids, and they've got this Adventure Isle area with this like obstacle course, which is like a proper like ropes course. Like it was so much fun. I wish I'd done that more than I did. We did it once, but you can do like different routes. There's like 3 different routes I think you can do, and then you can choose like different obstacles. Like there's 3 lots of obstacles on each of those routes, so you could do it like, I don't even know how many times that is, but you could do it multiple times and do something different each time. Shows wise, they had Mickey's Storybook Express as the parade, and it was a really nice parade actually. I really enjoyed it. The Mulan float was amazing. I really liked the Rapunzel float as well. The dances are really good. The fireworks show, as I mentioned when I talked about Disneyland Paris, it's the same as Disneyland Paris is. The only difference is Disneyland Paris has a section with Beauty and the Beast and Shanghai has a section with Mulan. And I really preferred the Mulan section, to be honest. But again, I think it could do with a better show. Like, it's no Happily Ever After or Wishes or anything like that. You've got like the generic shows that they've got on. So they've got like a Captain Jack Sparrow show, which I thought was pretty good. Everything was in Chinese, obviously. So we couldn't really follow any storyline, and there weren't any like English like sometimes on, like in Hong Kong for example, there were like English subtitles whenever they spoke in Chinese. That obviously wasn't the case in Shanghai. It's different culturally, so that just makes sense. But you are kind of just sat there like, I have no idea what's going on. But it's like a stunt show basically, and the stunts are pretty cool. Like, they've got these like big fans and they do like air, like they're falling in the air, which is pretty cool. They also had like a castle stage show, which was pretty cute. Again, it was all in Chinese, but the songs were all in English, and you could kind of understand what was going on. It was just like a generic castle stage show basically, but I really liked it. Yeah, I really enjoyed Shanghai, and I will definitely go back, especially when they open Zootopia, because I love Zootopia. So at number 7, this one isn't in the right place in terms of its score, but I just felt like I enjoyed every other park above it more than this one, so I've put it where it is. So at number 7 I've put Animal Kingdom, but I've given it a score of 40. Yeah, I don't really know what I've done there, but I don't think I could not give it a 40. I could maybe give it a 39 if I tried, but it's an amazing park. But I just personally prefer other parks above it, which is why it's where it is. But I think everything, where we're at now is that point where all of these parks are just amazing, so you can't really go wrong. But yeah, number 7, Animal Kingdom. So I've given it a 10 for food. It has some great food options, both snack, table service, quick service. It has the best quick service in all of Walt Disney World. It has the Tule canteen, and it's just great. Like, you can't go wrong. It has Tiffin's, which is an amazing table service restaurant. It also has Yak and Yeti, which is great. You've got Yak and Yeti quick service as well, which is really good. You've got Flame Tree Barbecue, which is great. And you've got the buffet, I can't think what it's called, but it's a great character buffet, and some really interesting food options. You've got some really nice snack locations. They used to have one which I really enjoyed, and it was where they now serve the Dole Whip basically in Animal Kingdom, and it did like gyro shawarma kind of style things, and they did that when I was there in 2013, and it was amazing. Like, I loved those wraps. Potentially might do something like that in Harambe now, but I'm not sure. But you've got that whole Harambe quick service area. I'm probably missing something. Oh, there's like Pizza Safari and all those kind of things as well, but there's just some really, really good options for food. Atmosphere, I mean, it's great. You've got like the music. There's always like some kind of performance going on. You've obviously got like the animals in there. You can kind of like wander around the animal trails if you want to. You can enjoy the shows. You can just kind of wander around, and just like the whole, I mean, I've obviously given it a 10 for theming as well, but you can just wander around and enjoy it, and it's amazing. Like, the theming, like, it feels like you're not in Florida anymore. I just love it. I think it's great. And then rides and shows, also giving it a 10. I guess shows wise, like nighttime shows wise, it's lacking. So it's not got a parade, but it used to have a parade in 2013, but I think I only ever caught like a glimpse of it, and it doesn't have it anymore, which is like Mickey's Jammin' Jungle something, I can't remember. But you've got Rivers of Light, which is, I feel like it's a one and done kind of show, but it is a really nice show. Like, I did enjoy it. The Tree of Life now comes to life at night, which is really nice as well. But then you've got Finding Nemo the musical, which I really think is a great show, and it's a fun little thing to sit down and watch, and also aircon. And you've got Festival of the Lion King, which is just an amazing show as well. Like, I love Festival of the Lion King. I enjoy Festival of the Lion King more than I enjoy either the Lion King film or the Lion King musical. That's just me, but that's how I feel. But then you've also got the rides. You've got Dinosaur, which is it's the ride system that they use for Indiana Jones in Tokyo and in Disneyland, and I just really enjoy that whole setup. It's a fun little adventure, and it's got that great "we're not gonna make it, we're not gonna make it" line. And then you've got Expedition Everest, which is just the best roller coaster on property, I think, for Disney World. It's a really fun ride, and I really enjoy it. You've got Kali River Rapids, which is a really nice rapids ride. You do get wet, but it's fun. You've got Kilimanjaro Safari, which is just a completely unique thing for a theme park, and even though you know that the animals obviously aren't super free, it feels like they are, which I don't know, it just feels like they've got all of this space, and even though there are obviously separations between them, they can't get that as much. They do have quite a lot of space, and they have got that whole, it just feels like you could be in Africa kind of situation. And then you've got Pandora, and like Flight of Passage is just the best ride I've been on, like hands down. It's amazing. And then you've got Navi River Journey, which is just like a nice little boat ride, but it's got that like 10 out of 10 animatronic in there, so it's just a great park. I'm trying to think if I've missed anything like obvious. You've got Dinoland bit, which I just think is a bit of a cheap area, and I don't really get. Like, I would get rid of that in a heartbeat. Keep Dinosaur, but get rid of that whole theme park area, like little, I don't like that. But other than that, I think it's great. So at number 6, we're going back down in the scores. So we're down at 33, and it's for Epcot. So I've put it above Animal Kingdom because I personally would spend more time at Epcot than Animal Kingdom, and I think once Epcot gets its full refurb done, I think it will probably move up to like a 40, but at the moment I'm going to give it a 33. So for food, I'm giving it a 10. It has so many options, like you've got the whole world basically. So you've got your first section where you've got like Electric Umbrella, which is, you know, just very standard theme park food, and you've got Sunshine Seasons, which is a really nice quick service option. And then you kind of get into World Showcase, and that is where Epcot shines in terms of food. You've got a number of quick services with lots of different cuisines and some really nice quality food in that with quick services as well. And then you've also got some absolutely amazing table service restaurants. You've got the Cellier in Canada, you've got Teppanydo in Japan, you've got the Napoli, which I really like, in Italy, and then you've got you have loads of other options as well. Like there's basically a table service in every country, I think, apart from America. So you've got some great choices, and then you're going to have the new Space 220 restaurant when that opens. So there's going to be so much choice. And the other great thing about Epcot is that you can walk out the back near between UK and France, and you're on the boardwalk, and you've got so many more options there. You've got the Autumn Beach Club, you've got Boardwalk Hotel, you've got the boardwalk. There's just so much around there, and I think it's great for that reason. Atmosphere, I've given it an 8. The World Showcase, I would give a 10. Like, I love that area. There's like lots of little shows going on during the day, lots of streetmosphere. Future World, on the other hand, is a little bit down, which is why I think I've kind of settled at an 8. But obviously with everything that's going on with Future World, hopefully by the end of it, the atmosphere in that section will be a lot better. Like, they're making it more like garden-esque, and I think I'm really going to like the new look of Future World when it's done. And then theming, I've given it a 7. Again, I think I would give World Showcase maybe like an 8 or a 9. There are some countries that are better themed than others, and there are some countries that are just kind of a bit like rogue. But then you've got Future World, which I just don't think the theming there's great. I don't think anybody does, but I think once this is done, it might be really good. And the fact that they're kind of taking it away from that Future World and bringing it into like land, sea, air, whatever, I think that will be a much better fit for the park. And then Rise and Shows are giving it an 8. It has some good attractions. I think it's missing some attractions. Like, I think it needs more, which it's getting, I guess, from this complete overhaul. You've got like a lot of like good attractions, but then not many like mediocre attractions. So like fast pass wise, I don't think it works very well as a park. But you've got Frozen, which I really like. I know a lot of people are like, what about Maelstrom? Like, I never really loved Maelstrom that much. Sorry. but I really like Frozen. I think it's cute. And then you've also got Test Track, which is great. They could probably do a lot more with that ride, but I do like it. Soarin', I love Soarin'. It's a great ride. I know obviously they're going to get Ratatouille and they're going to get Guardians of the Galaxy in the next few years, which would be great. I really enjoy Spaceship Earth, so I'll always use one of my fast passes on that when I go. Really like that attraction. And they also have Living with Land's okay. Mission Space, they have Mission Space. That's okay. Yeah, I think they could do better with the rides. Yeah. And then in terms of shows, the last time I went they had Illuminations, and I love Illuminations. We've got Epcot Forever at the moment, which looks okay, but I loved Illuminations, and I've not seen Epcot Forever, so I'm going to judge it based on Illuminations. So I'll give it an 8. Maybe I should give it a 7, but I'll give it an 8. So at the number 5 spot, I've got Tokyo Disneyland. This one I've given a 37. So I've given it a 10 for food. I really like the food in this park. I think it's got a lot of great quick service and a lot of great snack options. I didn't really notice the table service options in that park. I don't actually know if it has had any. I think it might have one on Main Street, and that might be it. But like quick service wise, I thought they had quite a lot of quick service restaurants. They have like 2 in Tomorrowland. They've got the Alice in Wonderland one in Fantasyland. They've got like Grandma Sarah's. They've got one over in like Frontierland area as well. So they do have a lot of different choices there. Like snack wise, they've got a lot of options as well. They've got obviously like the famous like melon bread, the alien mochi. They've got so many popcorn flavours. They've got a lot of like cute ice creams. They've got a lot of just other snacks as well, like bakery snacks, things like that. So there is a lot to have, like churros, things like that. So I think they do have like a good choice on that front, even though they haven't got the table service restaurants. I feel like a lot of people who go to Tokyo Disneyland aren't looking for a table service restaurant, so that's fine. And then you've got Atmosphere. I've given that a 10. It's very much like your Magic Kingdom park. You've got Streetmosphere. You have a bit of Streetmosphere going on. It's just, I think it's because it's busy and like everyone who's there is so happy to be there. Like everybody's lovely, the cast members are lovely, the guests are lovely. Like it just feels like a really nice place to be. So yeah, Atmosphere a 10. Theming I've given an 8. It is more like a Walt Disney World traditional castle park where like the theming isn't like as immersive as it could be anymore, but that just is what it is, and everyone kind of knows what they're getting with it. So I've given it an 8. And then for rides and shows I've given it a 9, mainly because of the lack of a good firework display. The firework display in Tokyo is not good. It's like 2 minutes or 3 minutes long. It's really short, and it's just like pretty lackluster. It's just a bit of music and some fireworks basically, and I feel like they could and probably should do a lot more with it. Whether that's because of where it is and maybe they can't set off like the big fireworks or do that big long fireworks show, I'm not sure, but I feel like it could just do with a bit more. However, it makes up for it in parades. It has amazing parades. When we went there were 3 parades. Actually there was more than that because I think they did some of them twice, so there's probably like 4 or 5 parades in the day. The parades were amazing, and everybody sits down for the parades, which is really nice because you can get there like 10 minutes before, sit right in the back of the sitting section, and you can still have a great view. You don't have to be one of those people that's camped out. If you want like the front row, then yes, you have to be camped out like 3 hours before. They also have a lot of shows. We didn't get to see any of them though because they do this like lottery system where it's very hit and miss if you can get them, and if you can't get that lottery system, you basically just need to go at park opening and just sit there and queue for 3 hours. So if you don't get there first thing in the morning and sit for like 3 hours for the first show, which is the only unreserved show of the day, you can basically just like that's your only way, or otherwise you're queuing for like 3 or 4 hours in the middle of the day just for some leftover like the small number of seats that aren't given out. We obviously ended up having 2 days cut off our trip, so we were planning on doing the shows in those last 2 days when we knew the parks would be a lot busier, so we just thought we might as well just sit and wait for the shows at that point, but that never happened because we didn't get that opportunity. So whenever I get back I will be doing that, but this time we didn't. Rides, so it's very much like your traditional Magic Kingdom rides. There's not much different going on, but I really enjoy those rides. You've got like a Big Thunder Mountain, which is kind of like a hybrid between Walt Disney World and Disneyland Paris is. You've got Space, which is an exact clone of Disneyland's Space. You've got Buzz Lightyear. You've got Small World, you've got Haunted Mansion, you've got Splash, which I love Splash Mountain, as I've mentioned previously, one of my faves. You've got Pirates, and then you've got your like 2 flagship attractions, I guess, of Tokyo Disneyland, which are Pooh's Honey Hunt and Monsters Inc. So your Monsters Inc. one I'll talk about first, that is very much like the Monsters Inc. ride that is in California Adventure. In terms of storyline, it's the same storyline, it's got a lot of the same, like what they called, not animatronics, but basically animatronics as that. But the difference is that it's a bit more interactive, where you have like this little flashlight and you have to kind of like put the flashlight onto the little like M's on the Monsters Inc. hats, and it'll like cause something in that scene to react. So if nobody like actually lights that hat up, then that won't happen when you go through. So it is kind of fun, but there's no like scoring systems, there's no like way to know if you've done well at the ride or bad at the ride. It is just kind of like a gimmick, I guess, while you kind of go through the story of Monsters Inc. But it's cute. I enjoyed it. We did it twice and it wasn't my favourite, but I did like it, and I could see why a lot of people enjoyed it. The definite flagship attraction though is Pooh's Honey Hunt. This is, again, it's very much the same storyline as every other Winnie the Pooh attraction around the world, but it just feels so much more immersive. The scenes are different. It's the same like story, but it's different scenes. You're in a trackless ride vehicle. The heffalump scene is just so much more enjoyable. Like normally just like, what the fuck am I going through? But in this one you're like, yeah, this is so much fun, heffalumps, woo. Yeah, I just really enjoyed it. Thought it was really good. Did that twice and I would have done it again. I think Winnie the Pooh's are cute anyway, so yeah, I love that ride. And then we're also getting the new Fantasyland area, which looked like it was basically nearly done when we were there. It looks so good, and that new Beauty and the Beast attraction I think is going to be amazing. They've got a Toontown as well. Love a Toontown. So at number 4 I have Disneyland, the OG. So I'll give this one 38 out of 40, so a pretty good score. I have given it a 10 for food. It has a lot of good options, I think. You've got a lot of nice little like table service restaurants, you've got some really good quick service restaurants, and you've got some great snacks. Disneyland I think is just like famed for having good food options, and there's a reason, like they are good food options. You've got Blue Bayou, which is like a restaurant, the restaurant in Pirates of the Caribbean. Really liked that. We ate there for the Fantastic Dinner package, and that was really good. And we also got like a special place to sit for Fantasmic, which was really nice. You have, what are the quick table services? Cafe Orleans, is it called? That was a nice one we ate there, and it's where they do the Monte Cristo and the pommes frites, which were just yummy. Like we should have shared though. Like if we go back again, I will definitely share that meal. We got like a pommes frites each and a Monte Cristo each, and it like we ate less than half each. So yeah, definitely share that next time. You've got a lot of different quick service options. So you have like the little area outside Cafe Orleans, which is where you get your Mickey beignets. They also have like really nice like pot pies and stuff around there. You've got Hungry Bear, which is like just got some like nice like nice general options. You've got your funnel cakes there, but you've also got burgers and fries and all that kind of jazz. You've got Tomorrowland, and you've got Fantasyland. They've got like Red Rose Tavern in Fantasyland. They've got what they've got in Tomorrowland, can't think what it's called in Tomorrowland, but they have one in Tomorrowland too. And then you've got like your Main Street options. Oh, they've got Plaza Inn, that's another table service option. And then you've got loads of different snacks. You've got your churros, you've got your corn dogs, you've got your popcorn, you've got your Dole Whip. Oh, they've got the new terrace restaurant there as well, with like loads of different types of Dole Whip. I've not been since that opened, but I'm excited to go and see that. And then now they've got Star Wars again, not been since Star Wars opened, but all the options that are back there. So just good food options, I think. Atmosphere, I've given it a 10. For me, I just go into that park and it just feels like Walt. It just feels so special and like magical. I love it. And it genuinely is like the happiest place on earth, I think. I love it. I think it's great. Get emotional every time. You've got like Dapper Dan's on Main Street. You've got Streetmosphere going on. You've got just genuinely really nice cast members. like everything just seems to flow a lot better at Disneyland than it does at Walt Disney World, and I think that's because of the fact that a lot of people that go there are people that genuinely go there a lot, whereas in Walt Disney World you have a lot of tourists, obviously. And then what have I got? Theming, I've given an 8. Again, basically the same reason as Tokyo Disneyland, where it's like more of your old version of Magic Kingdom Park. It's less immersive now than it probably would have been at the time. I'm guessing Star Wars Land would be a great immersion, but not been, so I can't comment on that one. And then rides and shows, I've given a 10. Rides wise, they've obviously got the OGs basically of most things. You've got your old school Fantasyland ride, you've got Toontown, you've got Haunted Mansion, you've got Pirates, you've got Splash, you've got Big Thunder, you've got Space, they're obviously going to be getting Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Mine Train, which looks really good, and they now have Star Wars as well, which both attractions in that look amazing too. So I think that's only going to make, like, just fortify that 10. Shows wise, they have parades. They've got, well, last time I went in the main park they had Pixar Play Parade, which is an okay parade, but I've seen a lot of different parades at that park. Sensational was like the first, I guess, more modern parade that I'd ever seen, so it's one of my favourites because of that. I love it. I think the soundtrack's great. I love that they had like the live music being played. I really like Sensational. And the new parade looks insane. Magic Happens looks so good, and I'm so good that I didn't get to see it in April, but I will get there and see it at some point. Then you've got shows. So you have got Mickey and the Magical Map, which I love. It was the first, like, I guess, iteration, is that what you say? It was the first version of that kind of show that I'd seen. So before that, I'd only seen shows at Walt Disney World, which were like Beauty and the Beast show at Hollywood Studios, or the Stunt Spectacular in Hollywood Studios. That was it really. There wasn't really many other shows. So this was the first like one that I'd seen with like live characters, other than like Castle Stage Show, obviously at Walt Disney World. And it was just like a whole other level. Obviously since then I've seen like the kind of very similar things that they've got at Paris and they've got in Hong Kong, but when I first saw Mickey the Magical Map, I was literally blown away. I was like, this is the best show ever. I want to see it again and again and again. And I think the soundtrack of it's really nice as well. I really like it. Fireworks wise, every time I've gone they've had different fireworks shows. There's never been like a continuous one. So the first time I went it was Magical, which was like a poor man's wishes. It was good. It wasn't like when you just come out of seeing Wishes a lot. Magical wasn't all that. Then it was Disneyland Forever, which I loved Disneyland Forever. Thought it was a great fireworks show. I would love them to bring that back. Really enjoyed it. And then the last time I went it was Remember Dreams Come True, which is kind of like it's Wishes but with like Disneyland attraction music rather than Wishes having like film music. I really enjoyed that because it had like the beginning and ending of Wishes, but it had this whole like different middle section which I really enjoyed. So yeah, I've always enjoyed the shows and rides and nighttime spectaculars. Oh, and they've got Fantasmic. I forgot about Fantasmic. They have Fantasmic. Like, they have Fantasmic and fireworks. Amazing. Okay. Number 3. Magic Kingdom. Like, this is my park. It's my park. I've given it a 36. So, in terms of scoring, it doesn't belong here. But this is where it's going. It's going at number 3. Because it's my favourite. It's my favourite, but it's also obviously not my favourite because it's number 3. But like, it's the park that I feel like the most comfortable at. It's the park that I spent the most time at. It was my home park when I did my international college programme. I worked in Tomorrowland. It's my park. No one can say anything bad about it because it's my park. Okay. I love it. I love it. So I've given it an 8 for food because of a lack of good table service restaurants. So it has the table service restaurants, they just ain't good, basically. So you've got Skipper Canteen, which is like a newer edition, and that is really good. I really enjoyed eating there and I will eat there again. I haven't eaten at Cinderella's Royal Table, but I've heard bad things. But I am planning to go in September if we get there. If not, I'm planning to go in the future just so I can judge it for myself. But I do love the idea of eating inside the castle, so I'm going for that reason more than anything else. Got Be Our Guest, which I do enjoy, but it's so overhyped. And I don't think I would go now that they've turned it into a 2 table service credit restaurant. Not when there's like so many other good 2 table service credit restaurants on property, and also the price of the menu doesn't, like, in my opinion, doesn't warrant it being 2 table service credits. Like, I would rather go and pay for it out of my own pocket than use dining plan on that restaurant. So if I ever eat there, I probably will pay for it out of my own pocket. I don't think what else they've got. Oh, they've got Tony's Town Square, which is just bad. I've eaten there once and it was like, the aircon must have been on like super mode that day, so the food was cold like before it even got to us because of the aircon. Like, that restaurant was freezing. You've got like, is it Plaza Inn, which is kind of like a halfway house between a quick service and a table service. So it's like a quick service menu but in a table service setting, which I've never quite understood. So I think it's just like, it could improve the ones that it's got quite a bit. And hopefully when I go to Cinderella's Royal Table, the food will be better than I've heard it is. Like, it's been a couple of years since people said it was really bad, so hopefully they've improved it. It is still the same menu though, so who knows. And Tony's Town Square could be so much better than it is as well. Like, just put some good Italian food in there, make it not -10 degrees, and it would be nice, probably. And then you've got your quick service options. I do think it's good for quick service. Like, you have a lot of quick service, but I think pretty much all the quick services that are in Magic Kingdom are the same, apart from a few. Actually, no, strike that, they're not all the same. You've got Pinocchio's, which is like your flatbreads, and I really like those flatbreads, they are good. Be Our Guest for lunch, I think it's good. And for breakfast it's extortionate, but it's fine if you're using dining plan because it's still a quick service credit, so in that case, all good. What other quick services have you got? You've got Cosmic Rays, which is like your standard, like, it is like basic food. It's your burgers, your chicken nuggets, that's where you go. Same kind of story for Columbia Harbour House. Oh, Liberty Square, there's another table service. I've not eaten there, but I have been in there because my roommate worked in there when we did the international college programme, and I do like the atmosphere, and I do think I'd like the food as well, so I'm going to go there one day. Anyway, sorry, forgot about that one. So you've got those, you've got Be Our Guest, Pinocchio's, which I've talked about, Columbia Harbour House, which is again similar to Cosmic Rays, but you have got some different options there. They've got like pot pies and things there, which make it a little bit more different and a little bit better in my opinion than Cosmic Rays. Cosmic Rays is good if that's what you want, because they have that and you can't go wrong with it. You've also got Tomorrowland Terrace, that doesn't ever seem to be open anymore, but it was basically the same food as Cosmic Rays was anyway. Pico's Bills, which I do like because you can get burgers and you can get like tacos and things there, and they've got that oh, can you still get burgers now that they changed it to tacos and things? Can't remember, but they've got like a big condiment station, which I like, although that might go post-COVID because everybody touching those little handles. Tortuga Tavern, although I don't think that's ever been open when I've actually been there, so I don't actually know what food they have. And then you've got like your snack options, you've got like your spring rolls, you've got your turkey leg, you've got your churros, you've got your ice creams, you've got your pretzels, you've got the Cheshire Cat tail. Like, the snack game's not as strong Magic Kingdom as a Disneyland, but it's still not bad. Anyway, that was a long time talking about food. Atmosphere 10, because you have so much going on, especially on Main Street. And you've got Dapper Dans, you've got the trolley show, you've got the guy who plays on the Casey's Corner, another quick service. You've got the guy who plays on the piano outside Casey's Corner. You've got you like citizens of Main Street, you've got your mayor, you've got your fireman, you've got, can't think of the other ones, like a lady who's like running for office, I don't know, loads of them. And then you used to have a lot more in Tomorrowland than you do now. You used to have like Push, the trash can, Jaminators, they used to be there as well. There's a lot more going on in Tomorrowland than there is now, but that was there. Frontierland, you had like your Country Bears come out sometimes and do stuff. You've got like a little like band that come out and do stuff. Just all that stuff like adds to the park in my opinion, and I really like it. Theming 8, same as Disneyland, same as Tokyo Disneyland. It's very similar in terms of theming. There's nothing in there that's groundbreaking, but at the same time it's a castle park, so it's well themed in terms of what it is, and I like that. And then last but not least, rides and shows. Give it a 10 because it has a lot of attractions and a lot of shows. basically. You've got your castle stage show, which is great. Mickey's Fantasy Fair, really good. You've got Festival of Fantasy, which is a great parade, brilliant parade. One of my top parades, love it. Once Upon a Time, which is the castle projection show, which is really cute, really nice to watch. And then you've got Happily Ever After, which is amazing. Don't get me wrong, it's not Wishes, and I am one of those Wishes stans who wishes they still had Wishes, but I really like Happily Ever After. The music's really good. I love the fact that they've kept a lot of those songs that I loved in Wishes. You've still got Go the Distance, but you've also got like Out There in there now. Just some really nice choices of songs. The projections are really good, I will admit, I do enjoy them. But I also just like, I watched it without the projections and still really enjoyed it. If it's ever like absolutely manic on Main Street, highly recommend going round the back of the castle and standing near the carousel, like kind of between the carousel and New Fantasyland. It's a really nice place to watch it. You have to like kind of twist and turn a little bit because the big fireworks will go off from behind Fantasyland, whereas like your castle fireworks obviously go off on the castle. But it's just nice. And when we went, there was like this guy there and he was like conducting the fireworks and telling you which way to point at certain times. It was great. So if he's there, you're in for a treat because he is such a fun guy. Like rides wise, they've got everything that you want in a castle park. Like there's nothing that's not there. You've got a Philhar, you've got the People Mover. What more can you want? You've got Carousel of Progress, which I absolutely love. You've just got so many different attractions and I just think it's great. Okay, number 2, Disney's California Adventure. This has got a 40 out of 40. I never went before it had the whole refurb situation go on, but I love this park. I think it's amazing. First time I went, I was blown away, and I still go now and I'm like, this is such a good park. You've got your Buena Vista Street, which is kind of like an old-timey Hollywood vibe, which I just love. I don't think the like Mission Breakout fits in that well with it now, but I think once you get the whole Marvel situation going on, then it'll kind of make more sense than it does currently. But it used to make a lot more sense to me, being Twilight Tower of Terror. You've got like your theatre, you've got that animation building, which is just 10 out of 10. And then you get onto your other themed areas like Paradise Pier. Amazing. Like yes, it's like why are you theming it around an old theme park thing, fun fair? I love it. I think it's great. I loved that whole like nostalgic feel of it, and I really like it as Pixar Pier as well. Love it as Pixar Pier. I think they've given it just so much colour and like new life that it needed, and I really like it. Plus it kind of brings Toy Story Mania into it more. Like it feels like it belongs now, whereas before it kind of felt like, okay, I kind of get where they were going with it, Midway Mania, but now it's like, yeah, now it belongs. You've got like the whole like Fisherman's Wharf, like San Francisco bit area, and you've got Ghirardelli in there. What more could you want? You've got Cars Land. Cars Land is amazing. Like that was one of the first, in my opinion, probably immersive lands that Disney did based on an IP, and I just think it's great. Like it's just so well done, it fits so well, and it's just such a fun land, and Radiator Springs Races is just stand out. And then you've also got the I can't think what it's called, but the area where like Soarin' and the rapids are, like that's beautifully done. Grizzly Peak or whatever it's called, it's gorgeous, love it. So yeah, I've given it a 10 for food, a 10 for atmosphere, a 10 for theming, and a 10 for rides and shows. Food wise, it has so much. You have the festivals there which add even more to it, but you've got loads of different options. You've got that, even that, just in that San Francisco area, you've got like loads of different cuisines you can choose from. And then you've got like Italian over in the far side of Paradise Pier. You've got options on Paradise Pier. You've got a number of like nice table services like Cafe Circle. When we ate there, I really enjoyed that. I thought it was expensive, but I felt like you got a lot for your money. Terralina, is it? I can't think. The Italian. I've not eaten there, but it looks really nice. And you've also got that entrance straight into Grand Californian Hotel, which if you're staying there would be absolutely amazing. but you can also like go and eat there and come back into the park, or go and eat in like their downtown Disney and come back into the park pretty easily, which I really enjoy. So food, yeah, like snacks as well. They've got so many good snacks, and a lot of good quick services. Atmosphere, 10, for all the reasons I've just quite previously stated. Theming, again, 10 because of that. And then rides and shows, 10. You've got Guardians of the Galaxy Mission Breakout, which I love. I love Terra, and I love the overlay from Guardians of the Galaxy as well. I think it's really good. I think it's really clever. California Screaming, which is now Incredicoaster. Really like that too. I think it's good. Nice little coaster. Nothing crazy, but I do enjoy it. You've got Toy Story Mania, which is one of my favourites. You've got Radiator Springs Races, which is just such an amazing use of that whole ride system. I really like that. You have also got Soarin' and that Rapids ride. You've got Little Mermaid, Under the Sea. You've got like some traditional rides as well. You've got like the Silly Symphony swings, Goofy's Sky School, things like that around there, which I really like. I think they're just like really cute little rides, like the Zephyr ride. They just remind me of like fun fairs and stuff, which I think is really cute. I think that's mainly everything. You've got Toy Story, you've got Monsters Inc, which is fine. And then like shows wise, you've got World of Colour. World of Colour is amazing. Like, it's one of my favourite nighttime spectaculars. I really like it. Last time I went, you also had Paint the Night in that park, which was just insane. And you also have like Frozen the musical. You've got the stuff that goes on in the animation building, which is really good. Do they have any other shows? I think that might be it. It's just a great park. Okay, the last part to talk about, number one, which I don't think is like a shock to anybody, because I think it's everybody who's been there as number one, Tokyo Disney Sea, obviously. 40 out of 40, love it. It's just amazing. I don't know how else to describe it. Like, the theming of it is like another level of amazing. It's like those bits of like California Adventure that are amazing, or those bits of Animal Kingdom that are amazing. It's that, but it's everywhere and on such a high level. It's so good, and I just can't describe it any other way. Like, even just from the theme park entrance, like, it's just like on another level. The atmosphere is so good. You've got streetmosphere going on, you've got like shows going on everywhere, and again, it's similar to Tokyo Disneyland, where everybody who's there is just so excited and happy to be there that it just rubs off on you and makes you just like super excited and happy to be there too, even though I would be anyway. But like, it just feels like so exciting to be there. Food, I like, oh, so many options, so many good snacks. Options like if you do like fish, if you don't like fish, which is something I was worried about because I'm not a fish fan. Loads of good options. There was so much I wanted to eat that I never got a chance to try, so I need to go back and just eat all the food basically. So many good snacks. They've got some like really nice like table service restaurants as well. Hi guys, my camera battery died, so it's been a few hours. I've had to change position because the sun is now coming directly through my window, so I normally have film with my camera on the windowsill, but it is much too bright to be able to do that right now, so I'm just going to finish off the video like this. So I was up to talking about the food options in Tokyo Disney Sea, specifically the fact that we were planning on going to Magellan's, which is meant to be one of the best Disney restaurants. From a show's point of view, like I said with Tokyo Disneyland, they have loads of shows, but it's a similar system where you have to go and sign up to the lottery and then hope you get tickets, which we did not manage to do. They had 2 or 3 different shows on, I think, that you could get the lottery tickets for. One being, I think it was One Man's Dream in that park, or was it Big Band Beat? No, it was Big Band Beat, Mirage or something, or Song of the Mirage I think, and then the Porto Paradiso Halloween show. We did manage to see the Porto Paradiso Halloween show just kind of around, because you can just be around that area and see it. It's just that you get a specific like area to sit and stand in if you get the lottery. It does get very busy as well, so any like standby for that gets filled up very quickly. But we had lunch reservations at the Bella Vista Lounge, which is a restaurant in Miracosta Hotel, and it's the one with the windows like straight out onto a Mediterranean harbour. So the show was actually on while we were having lunch, so we could watch it from up there, and they do pump the music in, but it is quite quiet. We did see it from up there. The other shows we didn't manage to see. And then they also have Fantasmic in that park, which is the best Fantasmic I've seen, but it has now finished. But it was a great version of Fantasmic. Really liked all of the colours and the songs. It was really good. We watched that twice. We watched it once from like right round the back of the harbour area, and we watched it once from near the front. And both views were good. Like the view from the front was obviously better, but you could watch it from kind of anywhere. I think the first time we watched it, we got there about 10 minutes before, so that's why we were where we were. The second time we got there maybe like 15-20 minutes before, but it was raining, so it was a lot quieter, which was good for us. So we watched it from around there. And then they also, like, cause the way that they have the fireworks at Tokyo Disneyland, you can actually see them from Tokyo Disney Sea as well, and they play the music in that park too, so we can also watch the fireworks, which was good. Like I mentioned previously, they weren't the best fireworks, but I think all the other shows and all the rides that are in Tokyo Disney Sea make up for that, and just mean it's definitely a 10 out of 10. Tokyo Disney Sea is getting quite a big expansion in the next couple of years. It's getting a Tangled area, a Peter Pan area, and a Frozen area, so it's going to be like even better. So it's going to be kind of like a little fairy tale port, I guess, because the way it's set up is like you've got all these different ports. So you've got Port Discovery, Mediterranean Harbour, American Waterfront, Mermaid Lagoon, Lost River Delta, and oh gosh, the like Jules Verne area, Discovery something, I can't remember what the Jules Verne area is called. But you have like all these different ports, so it's kind of like going to be, I don't think it's going to be 3 new ports or just 1 new port with these 3 lands in it. I'm not quite sure how that's going to work. And they're also putting a new hotel in there. We were lucky enough to manage to stay in the Miracosta Hotel. We did only stay in for 1 night, and we didn't really get the benefits of it from having to leave early, but they did refund us the 1 night that we missed, so definitely want to go back there in the future, because it was such a good location and so unique to be able to like look out of our window and see like the Venice area of the park, like you were in the park. It was amazing. So yeah, Tokyo Disney Sea is my #1 park, which I don't think is going to be a shock for anyone, but there we go. So yeah, that is all of the Disney parks around the world ranked. Let me know in the comments if you agree or disagree, or if you have any questions about any of the parks. I definitely want to go back to a few, and I keep trying to give Paris more of a chance, but every time I'm not blown away. But I am hopeful in the next few years with Disney owning it fully that it will become a better destination and a bit more Disney magical in my, like, for me. But yeah, any comments on anything that I said, please comment below. Like I said, it is just my opinion and based on my experience at the parks and also the last time I visited the parks. So hopefully when I go back to Hollywood Studios, that will kind of go a bit higher on my list. I don't think it would go above Shanghai, but I'll have to see, because Shanghai is a great park, but there's just so many Disney parks that are great that it's hard to rank them in some ways. But yeah, that is everything I've got for you guys today. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!